The customer brought in their vehicle with the complaint that the check engine light was on. After connecting a scan tool, I found the code P0335, crankshaft position sensor A circuit. This code typically indicates an issue with the crankshaft position sensor, which is essential for engine timing. If the sensor isn't working properly, it can cause starting issues, rough idling, or poor engine performance. To diagnose the problem, I performed a road test while monitoring live scan tool data. I observed that the crankshaft position sensor parameter was erratic, suggesting that the sensor was failing to provide consistent readings. Next, I inspected the crankshaft position sensor wiring harness and connector, but found no obvious faults. Since a loose or damaged wire can often cause signal issues, I made sure to check all connections thoroughly. To rule out any electrical issues, I used a multimeter to check for the presence of voltage and ground at the crankshaft position sensor connector with the ignition on and the engine off. Both were present, which indicated that the sensor was receiving the proper electrical supply. To investigate further, I back-probed the crankshaft position sensor and performed another road test, monitoring the sensor signal on a lab scope. The signal I observed was still erratic, confirming that the sensor was indeed faulty and not providing reliable data. Based on these findings, I replaced the crankshaft position sensor, cleared the codes from the ECU, and performed a road test to ensure everything was functioning correctly. After the test, I verified that the vehicle was operating properly, the check engine light stayed off, and no fault codes returned. The key takeaway here is that diagnosing a P0335 code involves not only checking the sensor's signal, but also ensuring that the sensor is receiving proper voltage and ground. Using tools like a scan tool, multimeter and lab scope helped verify that the sensor was faulty, and replacing it restored proper engine operation.